one of the things we are most proud of. That's why we end with it every single program. It's time for a chat with Pat, and it's Thursday. That means it's Joni.
Yes. As if you're a listener to the show, you know every Thursday Joan Watson joins us, and Joan is a Catholic speaker, Catholic writer. She's just an amazing woman, and we have been going through her book on making a pilgrimage. We're almost close to the end, so welcome, Joni. Good to have you with us today.
It's great to be here, as always.
Oh,
I can't believe we're almost done with the book.
I know. Hey, how's the smoke in Indiana? Are you getting it?
It's terrible. It smells outside.
Okay.
Not my favorite.
Yeah. I just wondered. I thought it's got to be covered where you're at, too. So, okay.
Yeah. It's just kind of creepy.
It is. It looks kind of weird when you look outside. Okay, Joni, Montserrat. Am I saying that right?
That's how I say it.
Okay.
So we all say it wrong.
Okay. I am not familiar with Montserrat. So this section of the book really was amazing because it also told me about St. Francis de Sales. So can you put all that together for us? What is Montserrat? Why would people take pilgrimages there? And obviously St. Francis de Sales was probably one of the most famous pilgrims going to Montserrat. So,
are you thinking of Ignatius of Loyola?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I am thinking of Ignatius of Loyola.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
About Francis.
You're right. You don't. I wasn't even looking at the book. You're right. I'm talking about Ignatius of Loyola. Sorry. I just taught about Ignatius of Antioch. So that's out of my head. Okay. Yes. So you don't have to make the connection with St. Francis de Sales. Don't go there.
I have gone on pilgrimage there because Our Lady of Montserrat is a huge pilgrimage site. So, maybe a listener will write in and say, no, Francis de Sales did go on pilgrimage to Our Lady of Montserrat. But it's a beautiful pilgrimage site near outside Barcelona, really. A lot of pilgrims will kind of combine the two when they go. And Ignatius of Loyola went there on pilgrimage. He's probably one of the most famous pilgrims, but many people have gone. We don't actually know, like so many of these sites, we don't know the origins. We don't know when they became pilgrimage sites necessarily. But for this one, we don't know where the statue came from. So there's a famous statue, Our Lady of Montserrat, often called the Black Madonna.
I've heard of that.
You see a lot of similar images throughout Spain. There's another one at this beautiful place called Ciudad, which is north of here. Looks very similar. And so it's Our Lady holding Jesus, and there's a statue way up in the mountains. Montserrat, if you Google images of it, it's absolutely stunningly beautiful. And some say that actually this Black Madonna dates from the early church and came from the Holy Land, that Muslims invaded, and so we had to hide. Well, because there were Muslim invaders in Spain, right, during the Reconquista of Spain.
Right.
Christians then tried to take Spain back. Eventually were successful. But so we don't really know where this statue comes from. But some people say, well, it's an ancient Christian statue, and they hid it in a cave to keep it safe during the Muslim occupation of Spain. And then it was rediscovered in 880. Other people say, well, no, it was in this cave, and then the Benedictines tried to move it once they discovered it, and they couldn't move it, so they built the monastery around it.
Oh, wow.
And so there's all these stories of how this statue got into the mountains. But now there's a Benedictine monastery built around this beautiful statue, and it's a place of pilgrimage.
Wow. So, the monastery then must be open to the public, or parts of it are open to the public if people go there?
Parts of it are, including getting to go and venerate the statue and getting to kind of climb up. And I've never been.
Okay.
But I would love. It's on my bucket list of my pilgrimage sites that I need to get to. And so it was this place, this monastery and this chapel where Ignatius of Loyola wanted to make a pilgrimage kind of as he began his mission of sorts. So he has his conversion up in northern Spain in Loyola after getting hit by his cannonball and recuperating. And he has this desire then, and he begins to write his journal and write kind of his spiritual exercises, but he wants to go on pilgrimage ultimately to the Holy Land. But he begins his pilgrimage to Jerusalem by going to Montserrat and dedicating his life, essentially his mission, to Our Lady. And so he spends the night in prayer he he's very extreme in his beginnings of his conversion. If you read his diary, if you read his autobiography, he's very extreme, and he does everything to the extreme. I think we all know those people that, like, if they're going to do something, they're going to do it big. And that was Ignatius. And so he really struggled a lot with, like, scrupulosity in his early days, did everything to the most, right? Which isn't always healthy and isn't always even spiritually healthy.
Right.
But he goes to Montserrat and lays everything down, including his sword, in front of Our Lady. You can go still see his sword. And so he dedicates everything. And it's those days at Montserrat and then later in a cave at Manresa where he really lives as a beggar and begins his spiritual exercises and learning a lot about the spiritual life that then begins to allow him to even found the Jesuits. And so those days of scrupulosity, I think, wane. He still obviously is always seeking holiness, but in a more balanced way. And it's really Our Lady, that pilgrimage and those times of prayer that give him that balance.
You talk about kind of his all-night, where is it again? 3 months of pilgrimage. And he had an all-night vigil at Montserrat where he actually lays down his sword at the feet of Our Lady. Why was that so important in his story?
You know, I think one of the beautiful things as we talk about pilgrimage, one of the beautiful things that pilgrimage gives us is this tangible outward sign of what's going on interiorly. And we need that. We need that because we are mind and body, right? We're spirit and body. We're soul and body. And so I think that night for Ignatius was important because it's this physical reminder, right? He walks to Montserrat, makes this outward sign that something different is happening interiorly. And then he lays down his sword as this outward sign that his past life is over and that he's starting anew and that he's not going to be a soldier in a secular army. He's going to be a soldier for Christ. He's going to be a soldier for Our Lady. And that's the beauty of pilgrimage, is that we need those outward signs. He was on this conversion. He was, this conversion was happening. He was on this path.
Right.
But that outward sign that night, that vigil, that penance that he did is a sign for us, is a sign for him, is a reminder of that inward journey. And I just think it's such a beautiful reminder to us because we need those tangible signs.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. And when you say he struggled with scrupulosity, what do you mean, Joni?
Everything he thought everything was a sin, right? He thought he was going to hell, right? Like everything was and we see this is one side of a coin. The other sign is that sign of like is that sin of like, we're all okay. All okay. That's presumption.
Right.
And so scrupulosity can find a sin around every corner. And we see that Ignatius really struggled with this because he was leaving behind so many sinful habits. He was leaving behind a lot of vanity. And you can have vanity in the spiritual life as well, right? I'm the worst sinner. There's never been a worse sinner than me. That's just in his pride, just as much as anything, right?
I love that, Joni.
Struggles with that.
I love that. I never thought of it that way. I'm a bigger sinner than you. Oh, well, thank you, Joni. I always enjoy our time together. You have a good rest of the week and weekend ahead, okay?
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.